On October 12, 2024, 22-year-old Cuny Stewart found himself hunted by Bainbridge officers after driving aggressively and riding with a tag violation. But he wasn't fleeing over a simple traffic stop. There was more tucked away inside that Mercedes. Trooper Evans soon joined the chase, and when Georgia troopers commit, their pits land with unforgiving force. Cuny had no way of knowing this run would be his last.
Milepost 1, copy. Milepost 1, roll over, go ahead and send EMS.
Trooper Evans closed the distance and struck with a punishing pit at 140 miles per hour. The blow was so fierce, it hurled Cuny Stewart nearly 40 yards from the wreck. Troopers reached him minutes later and fought to revive him, but his life had already slipped away. Inside the crushed vehicle lay 2 pounds of marijuana and $5,000 in cash, enough for a felony and a decade behind bars. But he would never stand before a judge. The chase ended at the same place his choices did. On January 19, 2023, 35-year-old Amy Padette made a fatal mistake. She decided to outrun GSP in a white Nissan Murano, its rear window already shattered. What started as a reckless flight through backyards and crowded city streets was quickly building toward a crash that would cost her everything.
It's a white Nissan Murano, tall metal John 712 DAJ 712.
Just ran from Chatham.
This vehicle just 1080 from Chatham.
Richard, we're 1080. Don't worry about who initiated. We're trying to chase this car right now. Go. Okay. Get some speed. Hold on. Just let it go for a second. We want to get a little bit more speed before we try to hit this thing. Don't try to hit it this way. I know we're safe here on this side. Try to get behind it.
4843 Highway 80.
There you go, you idiots. Hold on. Stop. Slow down. Let me get past. Okay, go. Get on the side. We're setting up to pit. 204 eastbound. Hit it. Here you go, hit it. Stop. Okay, hold on. Get in the middle of the road. Hit it. Here you go, hit it. Stop. Okay, hold on. Get in the middle of the road.
The Murano slammed into a concrete median and flipped with violent force, metal buckling as debris scattered across the roadway. It was the kind of decisive hit that explains why Georgia troopers carry a reputation nearly as feared as Arkansas's. Padette, unrestrained, was thrown from the SUV on impact. EMS moved in while troopers locked down the scene, but her injuries were catastrophic. She was taken to the hospital, where she later died. A day after Christmas in 2023, in Warren County, a red Chevy Cruze rolled past a patrol unit. Officers ran the plate and discovered it was expired. What should have been a routine traffic stop was about to unravel into something far more serious.
Window broke.
Can you put the car in park?
Business park.
So the reason I stopped you is because the plate's expired on the car. Yeah.
I'm just coming from work.
Oh yeah? Is this your car?
No, it's my girlfriend.
Your
I live down the
Okay. Do
street.
you have your license with you and
No.
registration?
I don't have my license.
Nothing? Alright. Is your girlfriend's car?
Yeah, she down the street. She got her license.
Where at?
Literally, I'm just coming from work.
Where do you work at?
Literally.
Okay. Alright. What I gotta have you do is just hop off with me real quick, man, just because you don't have your license on you, okay?
Still westbound on Wood, Black Belt Drive. And he 1050 into the grass, north on Lawrence. He's in the grass, jumping back down northbound. Dreads? Dreads. 20? Short dreads. And 10 to 10 mile. Black male, Indian build dreads. Tattoos, small cars. Whoever's walking up there. Center line's blocking. It's up in the grass. Just parallel. All right, we got the lead again from center line. He's jumping through the grass just south of 10 and east on Lawrence. Somebody go to Sherwood in 10 mile for me. All right, we're by that apartment complex just east of Sherwood, coming out to 10. All right, west on 10. You're good, clear, sorry.
Yep. Approaching Sherwood.
Through Sherwood. All right, we're never on Mount Block 4. Give him some roll.
Yep.
Traffic over. Through Mount. Speed's 80 coming up the school, Ryan. Alright, approaching Ryan. Center lane. Speed's 100. Alright, he's slowing for Ryan. It's a red. 1050 into a box truck. He's underneath the box truck. Airbags deployed. Let's shut this intersection down.
The driver, later confirmed to be Maurice Octavius Kelly, blew through a red light and collided head-on with a Penske box truck. He died at the scene, and no other injuries were reported. On July 3, 2024, in Georgia, a blue motorcycle tore northbound on State Route 23, pushing 71 in a 55. A trooper moved in for a stop, but the rider snapped the throttle wide open and vanished into the distance. A bike might outrun a cruiser, but no one outruns what's waiting at the end. The rider was a white male.
We're coming into the city limits now. I keep you updated if he ain't getting too far. Alright, coming up on 520. He's about to run the red light, just ran the red light. Clear. Street. Alright, he just laid it down, 1050. He just got ejected, 1050. Go ahead and get EMS to me. Oh, Waycross, he's gonna be decapitated. His head is decapitated. Go ahead, send me everybody you got.
While trying to pass a Ford F-150, his helmet clipped the truck's side mirror, and everything unraveled at once. He veered off the shoulder, struck a ditch drain, went airborne, and crashed hard into a tree. The force hurled him across Burton Street, where he hit a barrier and suffered fatal, catastrophic injuries. First responders arrived to a scene they would not forget, his body and head separated by the impact. The rider was identified as Mark Edward Johns. On the night of December 26, 2022, a trooper moved in to stop a black motorcycle riding without a rear light and carrying a suspended tag. For a moment, the rider played along, coasting as if he intended to comply. Then he dipped low over the handlebars and launched into a full-throttle escape. The impact was brutal, tearing the rider from the bike in an instant. The trooper radioed for EMS and sprinted toward the wreck. The suspect was struggling for air, then his breaths faded entirely. The rider, Stephen Wilson, succumbed to his injuries at the scene. He had been driving on a revoked license and was wanted on multiple felony warrants. September 14, 2022. What should have been nothing more than a ticket for using a phone behind the wheel spiraled out of control when 24-year-old Javon Richards refused to stop. His defiance ignited a high-speed pursuit that would end in tragedy. Richards veered directly into opposing lanes, tearing down Veterans Parkway the wrong way, missing oncoming cars by inches. Troopers pushed to stay with him, but it was obvious from the start, this chase was headed toward a violent finish. Richards shot through the red light without a second thought, and in that instant, everything unraveled. A white Infiniti SUV crashed into him with devastating force, sending his car ricocheting off a guardrail and then into another vehicle. 3 cars were destroyed in the span of a heartbeat. The collision was merciless. Fire crews reached the scene quickly, but the damage had already claimed its price. Richards wasn't breathing, and paramedics couldn't revive him. At 2:01 p.m., the hospital declared him dead. A mother arrived, hoping to find her son safe, but the chase had already taken him from her. In the early minutes of September 30th, 2022, just shy of 1 a.m., a white Jeep Grand Cherokee blasted onto I-85 north from Cleveland Avenue, pushing well past 90 in a 55-mile zone, and slipping through traffic without a single signal. A trooper hit the lights, and in that moment, the pursuit was set in motion.
114, where you at?
for Universal.
Alright, we're coming up to RDA. He's gonna jump off RDA. Nope, he's gonna jump back on. We're going back toward Fulton.
You're on RDA?
Nope, he's jumping back over. We're just continuing connecting to north. Headed toward I-20.
Clear, connector north. Hey, 96 on secondary alcohol. We're connector north, passing Edgewood. Connector north, passing Edgewood. Looks like we're going to be exiting Edgewood. Exiting Edgewood.
When the Jeep veered onto Edgewood Avenue, one of the passengers bailed out while it was still rolling, as if he could feel disaster closing in. He hit the pavement running, but troopers tracked him down only a few blocks later.
Let's get up here with him, 896. I'm coming around.
Come around now, boys. Boys, you're clear. You can get on him now, 43. You got it. I got a traffic held up. 943. I got a full car and I'm grilling y'all in real quick.
Pit.
Atlanta Star. I got a full car and I'm grilling y'all in real quick.
Pit.
Atlanta Star.
A trooper committed to a high-speed pit and struck the Jeep cleanly. The SUV whipped out of control, skidded off the roadway, and plunged into a ditch. The crash was violent, bringing the pursuit to an abrupt and brutal end. By the time officers reached the wreck, the Jeep lay upside down and burning. One trooper rushed in with a fire extinguisher and knocked down the flames. Inside, 2 suspects were found unresponsive. CPR and tourniquets were attempted, but nothing could reverse the damage. Arkansas troopers may be known for their lethal pits and unforgiving tactics, but Georgians are no strangers to that same hard edge. Just after 2:30 a.m. in Dalton, Georgia, a silver BMW 535 fled from a traffic stop, triggering a high-speed pursuit with Georgia State Police. The driver accelerated to about 125 miles per hour, making it difficult for the trooper to stay close. Radio chatter reported that the suspect might not be alone in the vehicle. Despite the extreme speed, the driver still used turn signals, but he was switching lanes so rapidly that the signals barely made any difference.
340 left hand lane.
With the roadway clear, troopers went in for a second pit. The BMW whipped sideways, smashed its front end into a guardrail, and tore straight through it. The car launched off the shoulder and overturned in a violent tumble, throwing the driver from the wreck. Troopers reached the 24-year-old moments later, but he was unresponsive. Medics arrived and confirmed he hadn't survived. On December 4th, 2024, a Georgia trooper attempted to pull over a Toyota Camry on Mon Road. The driver, 22-year-old Kamari Gamble, was uninsured and drifting recklessly through traffic. For a moment, he seemed ready to comply. Then, without warning, he slammed the accelerator and bolted into the night.
Coming up to an intersection. One car ahead of us. He's braking. I want to put him into the truck. He brake checked me on the 50, no contact.
At nearly 90 miles per hour, the trooper seized his moment and executed a devastating pit. The Camry whipped sideways, shot off the highway, and slammed into a tree with punishing force. Metal curled, glass burst, and the vehicle lay ruined. Troopers converged on the wreck and found Kamari Gamble barely hanging on, his body pinned in the crushed cabin, shards of glass scattered across the seats, the frame twisted beyond recognition. EMS rushed him away, but the sheer violence of that 90 miles per hour pit had already sealed his fate. It began like any routine patrol on the outskirts of Atlanta, near I-285. A silver Ford Focus cut through traffic erratically, jumping lanes without signaling and riding bumpers far too close. Troopers tagged it at 88 in a 55, an offense that should have ended with nothing more than a citation. But it didn't.
85 north at 285. It's a gray Ford. I think it's a Ford Fusion. Georgia 28 says Young David Lincoln 160. YDL 160 Georgia. overturn, start EMS. 1050 overturn, EMS please.
Clear 1050.
225 northbound, ramp to 166. Ramp to 166, I'm gonna shut it down.
The officers stayed back and waited for reinforcements. Once backup arrived and they moved in, the reality was immediate. There would be no arrest that night. The driver had died in the crash. A reckless attempt to escape had turned deadly in a matter of minutes. On January 8, 2021, Savannah officers attempted to pull over 27-year-old Vanquan Scott, a wanted felon driving a black Ford F-150. He cut his headlights, blasted through red lights, and drove with such disregard for anyone on the road that SPD had no choice but to call in the Georgia State Patrol. And once GSP entered the chase, the escape routes were gone.
10-4-168, all units, 10-3, 10-33.
Is that you coming up behind me, Zach?
Yeah, I just passed the 162 exit. 201's right behind you, I'm right here.
Alright, buddy, go ahead. 201.
He's, this thing was North Carolina attack?
What are you doing?
I had a black pickup truck, I thought that was him.
No, it's the one I'm chasing up here. I'm coming up to Dean Park Road, Ringo.
I'm coming up right to you.
Alright, we're coming up to Dean Park. Coming up to a car.
Ahead was a narrow construction zone filled with workers. GSP couldn't risk it. At high speed, a trooper struck a brutal pit. The truck slid off the shoulder, tearing through the rain-soaked ditch and slamming into the trees.
You good? You good? Hey, man.
Troopers closed in with weapons drawn, rain hammering the scene like a warning. Inside the crushed truck, Scott lay motionless. Firefighters tore through the wreckage to free him, and EMS rushed him toward the hospital. But less than an hour later, he was gone. On that storm-soaked night, his flight ended the moment GSP entered the chase. On the morning of April 10, 2020, just outside Fort Smith, Arkansas, 34-year-old Justin Battenfield blew through a red light in a black Dodge Ram he had bought only days earlier. For reasons that may never be fully understood, he ignored a U.S. Marshal's attempt to pull him over. That single choice sealed his fate. A high-speed chase erupted, and Arkansas State Police moved in almost immediately.
Go ahead and start EMS. Fortunately, we crashed out here right in front of Ben Garrett.
27. Hold your traffic pursuit in progress.
The trooper executed a pit maneuver at 109 miles per hour, sending the truck rolling and hurling the patrol cruiser into the air. Trooper Michael Ellis was taken to the hospital with injuries that were serious but not life-threatening. Justin Battenfield, however, was pronounced dead at the scene.